One of the most powerful principles of the universe, which has the power to completely transform your money situation forever, is the spoken word principle. This great transformation doesn't involve buying expensive courses or working 3 jobs that requires endless action. This principle is related to the person you speak yourself into being every single day. Think about this for a moment. If your desire is to become rich, the truth is that you need to speak like a rich person on the inside before this shows up on the outside. You can't keep talking like someone who's broke and expect money to magically appear in your bank account. It just doesn't work that way. Most people have this completely backwards. They think they need to see the money first, then they'll start talking differently about it. But the universe works in the opposite direction. Your words come first, then your reality follows. Otherwise, you'll keep jumping from one money method to another, thinking that the problem is with the system. You'll try this business opportunity, then that investment strategy, then another get-rich-quick scheme. You'll blame the economy, your boss, your education, or your circumstances. But the real issue isn't out there somewhere. The real issue is in the words you speak about money every single day. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," you're telling the universe to make sure you can't afford it. Every time you say, "Money is so hard to make," you're ordering the universe to make money hard for you. Every time you say, "Rich people are greedy," you're telling the universe to keep you away from wealth so you don't become one of those greedy people. Your words are like seeds that you plant in the universe every day, and just like real seeds, they grow into exactly what you planted. If you plant apple seeds, you get apples. If you plant worry seeds about money, you get more things to worry about with money. If you don't change how you speak to the universe, nothing in your bank account will change. This is the basic truth of the spoken word principle. Your bank account right now is a perfect reflection of the words you've been speaking about money for years. Look at your financial situation right now. Really look at it. That number in your bank account, those bills on your desk, that stress you feel when you think about money, all of it came from the words you've been speaking. This might be hard to accept at first, but it's absolutely true. When you keep speaking the same way about money, you keep getting the same results with money. It's like being on a treadmill. You're moving, you're working hard, you might even be sweating, but you're not going anywhere. You're stuck in the same place because the words you speak are keeping you there. But here's the amazing part. If you master this principle, everything you say will bring money to you like magic. I'm not talking about some fantasy here. I'm talking about a real, practical principle that works every single time when you apply it correctly. When you learn to speak prosperity into your life, money starts showing up in ways you never expected. You might get a surprise check in the mail. Someone might offer you a better job. You might discover a new income opportunity. People might start paying you more for what you do. Your business might suddenly take off. The universe has unlimited ways to bring money to you, but it can only work with the instructions you give it through your words. When you change your words, you change your instructions to the universe. When you change your instructions, you change your results. However, this requires you to face your own money fears and the words you may not want to hear yourself say. This is where most people give up. They want the results, but they don't want to do the inner work. You're going to have to confront some uncomfortable truths about how you've been talking about money. You're going to realize that you've been your own worst enemy when it comes to wealth. You've been sabotaging yourself with your own words without even knowing it. This might make you feel angry at first. You might think, if this is true, why didn't anyone tell me this before? You might feel frustrated that you've been doing this wrong for so long. These feelings are normal. Let them come and then let them go. If you're really ready for real wealth, this video is for you. I need you to be honest with yourself right now. Are you truly ready to change? Are you ready to speak differently about money even when your bank account doesn't match your words yet? Are you ready to sound like a rich person even when you don't feel like one? This isn't about positive thinking or fake it till you make it. This is about understanding how the universe actually works and working with it instead of against it. The universe is waiting for you to give it new instructions through your words, but you have to be willing to change those words first. In this video, I'll also share with you the exact words that I still say today. These aren't just pretty phrases or wishful thinking. These are the specific words that completely transformed my relationship with money. I went from struggling financially to attracting money in ways I never thought possible, and it all started with changing what I said about money every day. Today, we're going to understand this principle and how it can actually change your money life forever. The universe is like a friend that listens to every word you say about money and yourself. But here's what most people don't understand. The universe doesn't judge whether your words are good or bad. It just says, okay, if that's what you believe, then that's what I'll make real for you. Think of the universe like the most loyal friend you could ever have. This friend never argues with you, never tells you you're wrong, and never tries to talk you out of anything. Whatever you tell this friend about your life, they just nod and say, "You got it. I'll make sure that happens for you." If you tell this friend money is hard to make, they'll make sure money is hard for you to make. If you tell them I'm not good with money, they'll create situations where you're not good with money. If you tell them there's never enough, they'll make sure there's never enough. But here's the beautiful part. If you tell this friend money comes to me easily, they'll find ways to make money come to you easily. If you tell them I'm great with money, they'll help you become great with money. If you tell them there's always more than enough, they'll create abundance in your life. Your words and your wallet are connected in ways that most people never realize. What do I mean when I say that? Well, let's go back to the example of becoming rich. If your relationship with money words is "I can't afford this" or "money is hard to make," then the universe will say, "Oh, that's what you believe about money, so here's more proof that money is hard for you." The universe will send you more bills, more unexpected expenses, more reasons why you can't afford things, and more situations where money feels impossible to make. It's like the universe becomes a detective trying to prove your beliefs are true. If you believe money is scarce, the universe will find evidence of scarcity everywhere and bring it to you. If you believe you're bad with money, the universe will create situations where you make bad money decisions. But when you start believing and speaking that money is abundant, the universe becomes a detective for abundance instead. It starts finding evidence of prosperity everywhere and bringing it into your life. When you believe and speak that you're good with money, the universe creates opportunities for you to be successful with money. Most people today are so busy complaining about money that they've lost connection with speaking prosperity into their lives. They spend their days saying things like, "I'm so broke," "Bills are killing me," "The economy is terrible," "I'll never get ahead," and "Money doesn't grow on trees." Then they wonder why their financial situation never improves. They're literally speaking their financial problems into existence every single day, but they don't realize it. They think they're just describing their situation, but they're actually creating their situation with their words. Here's what happens in most people's lives. They wake up, look at their bank account, and immediately start speaking from that place of lack. "I don't have enough money for this month," they say. "I can't afford to do what I want," they say. "Why is money always such a problem?" they ask. Every one of these statements is an instruction to the universe. Don't have enough money becomes the universe's mission for you. Can't afford what I want becomes your reality. Money is always a problem becomes the theme of your financial life. Our ancestors understood something that we've forgotten in our modern world. They knew that words had power. They knew that speaking blessing brought blessing, and speaking curse brought curse. They were careful with their words because they understood that words create reality. But somewhere along the way, we lost this wisdom. We started treating words like they don't matter. We started speaking carelessly about the most important areas of our lives. We started saying whatever came to mind without thinking about the consequences. Now we live in a world where people casually speak poverty, lack, and limitation over their lives all day long. They say, "I'm broke," as a joke. They say, "I can't afford anything," as a conversation starter. They say money is the root of all evil and wonder why money stays away from them. The universe doesn't speak English or any human language. The universe speaks in the language of energy and vibration, but your words carry energy and vibration. When you speak, you're not just making sounds, you're sending energy signals to the universe about what you want to experience. When you say, "I never have enough money," you're sending out the energy of scarcity. The universe feels this energy and responds by creating more experiences of not having enough. When you say, "Money flows to me easily," you're sending out the energy of abundance. The universe feels this energy and responds by creating more experiences of money flowing to you. This is why the same opportunity can come to two different people, and one person will see it as a way to make money, while the other person will see it as too risky or impossible. Their words have programmed them to see different realities, even when they're looking at the exact same situation. The universe responds to consistency. One positive statement about money won't change your life, just like one workout won't make you fit. But consistent positive statements about money, spoken with belief and feeling, will absolutely transform your financial reality. Think of your words like water dripping on a rock. One drop doesn't do anything, but thousands of drops over time can carve through solid stone. Your words work the same way. Each prosperity statement you make is like a drop of water. Over time, these drops carve new patterns in your reality. This is why it's so important to pay attention to how you speak about money every single day, not just when you're trying to manifest something specific. Your casual conversations about money are just as important as your formal affirmations. The universe is always listening, always responding, always creating based on what you say. When you understand this, you realize that you've been unconsciously programming your financial reality your entire life. Every casual comment about money, every complaint about bills, every statement about your financial situation has been shaping your experience with money. The first basic key of the spoken word principle is to understand that the universe listens to two things: how you talk about yourself and how you talk about money. These two areas of your speech are like radio stations that broadcast your instructions to the universe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Most people don't realize that every conversation they have contains messages about these two topics. When you say, "I'm terrible with numbers," you're broadcasting about yourself. When you say, "Money doesn't buy happiness," you're broadcasting about money. The universe receives both of these broadcasts and starts creating experiences that match what you're saying. The universe doesn't care if you meant what you said or if you were just making conversation. It doesn't matter if you were joking, complaining, or just repeating something you heard someone else say. The universe takes every word seriously and treats it as an instruction manual for your life. What you speak about money becomes your money reality, period. This isn't a theory or a nice idea. This is how the universe actually works. If you look at your bank account and think, "I'm not good with money," the universe will simply repeat that back to you in the form of experiences that prove you're not good with money. Here's how this plays out in real life. You say, "I'm not good with money," and then you make a poor financial decision. You say it again, and then you miss an opportunity to make money. You keep saying it, and then you find yourself in the same financial struggles over and over again. Each time this happens, you think, "See, I told you I'm not good with money." But you don't realize that your words created these experiences in the first place. The universe doesn't argue with you about your self-assessment. If you say you're not good with money, the universe says, okay, if that's who you are, then I'll create situations where you can continue being not good with money. It's like having a personal assistant who takes every casual comment you make as a serious instruction. The universe is like a loyal friend who always agrees with what you say about yourself and your life. This friend never questions your judgment, never suggests you might be wrong, and never tries to talk you out of your beliefs. Whatever you say about yourself, this friend just nods and says, "You're absolutely right, and I'll make sure your life proves it." If you say, "I always struggle with money," your loyal friend, the universe, says, "You're right. You do always struggle with money. Let me create more situations where you can struggle with money." If you say, "Nothing ever works out for me financially," the universe says, "You're absolutely right. Let me make sure nothing works out for you financially." But here's the incredible part. This same loyal friend will agree with you when you say positive things too. If you say, "I'm becoming really good with money," the universe says, "You're right. You are becoming good with money. Let me create opportunities for you to be good with money." If you say, "Money comes to me from unexpected sources," the universe says, "You're absolutely right. Let me send you money from unexpected sources." So instead of trying to change your bank account directly, we must learn to change the words we speak to the universe. Most people try to fix their money problems by working harder, getting more education, changing jobs, or starting new businesses. These things might help temporarily, but they won't create lasting change unless you change how you speak about money. It's like standing in front of a mirror and trying to fix your appearance by reaching toward the mirror instead of fixing yourself. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, you don't try to change the reflection. You change yourself, and then the reflection automatically changes. Your bank account is a mirror that reflects your words about money. Your financial situation is a mirror that reflects how you talk about yourself and money. Your money problems are a mirror that reflects the limiting things you say about wealth and prosperity. If you want to change what you see in the financial mirror of your life, you have to change what you're saying to that mirror. Most people think they're just describing their financial situation when they talk about money, but they're actually creating their financial situation with their words. There's a huge difference between these two things, and understanding this difference will change everything for you. When you say, "I can't afford this," you think you're just describing your current financial state, but you're actually giving the universe instructions to make sure you can't afford things. When you say, "I never have enough money," you think you're just explaining your situation, but you're actually ordering the universe to create experiences of never having enough. The universe doesn't distinguish between describing and creating because every word you speak carries creative power. Every statement you make about money is both a description of what you believe and an instruction for what you want to experience more of. This is why it's so important to be careful with your words about money, even in casual conversation, even when you're just chatting with friends or family, even when you're just venting your frustrations, even when you think nobody is listening. The universe is always listening, and it's always taking notes. Now the question is, how can we change this? How can we stop this pattern and choose what we want? The answer lies in understanding that you can literally speak a new identity into existence. You can use your words to become a different person, a person who attracts money instead of repelling it. Most people never realize they have this power. They think their identity is fixed, that they are who they are, and that they can't change their fundamental relationship with money. But this isn't true. Your identity is actually very flexible, and you can reshape it completely using the power of your words. Every day, through the words you speak, you're either reinforcing your old money identity or creating a new one. When you say, "I'm just not a money person," you're reinforcing an identity that keeps money away from you. When you say, I'm becoming wealthy, you're creating a new identity that attracts money to you. You need to create your own money identity through your words, and I'll give you an example to help you understand exactly how to speak your new identity into life. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. This is about becoming who you really want to be by speaking that person into existence. The first step is to get clear about what you want your money life to look like. Don't just think about having more money. Think about who you would be as a person if you had the financial life you want. How would you think? How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? How would you speak about money? Rich people don't just have more money than other people. They think differently about money, they feel differently about money, and most importantly, they speak differently about money. They have a completely different money identity, and this identity is what creates and maintains their wealth. In 10 years, what do you see yourself doing every day? What do you have that makes your life amazing? Really think about this. Don't just imagine having money sitting in a bank account. Imagine the life that money would allow you to live. Maybe you see yourself traveling to beautiful places without worrying about the cost. Maybe you see yourself helping your family financially. Maybe you see yourself starting a business or buying a home or investing in things you care about. Maybe you see yourself having the freedom to choose how you spend your time because money isn't a constant worry. Whatever you see, ask yourself, who am I being when I'm living this life? What kind of person attracts and manages this level of wealth? What do I say about myself when I have all these things? How do I talk about money when it's abundant in my life? Then think, how do you see money when you are living this rich life? How do you talk about money when you have plenty of it? This is crucial because wealthy people have a completely different relationship with money than people who struggle financially. Wealthy people see money as a tool, not as something scarce and hard to get. They see money as something that flows and circulates, not something that gets hoarded and held on too tightly. They see money as something that comes from value and service, not something that comes from struggle and sacrifice. Wealthy people talk about money casually and comfortably. They don't get emotional or stressed when discussing money. They don't speak about money with fear or anxiety. They don't complain about money or make excuses about why they can't afford things. Instead, wealthy people speak about money with confidence and ease. They talk about investments and opportunities. They discuss how to make money work for them. They speak about abundance and possibility. They use words that assume money will be there when they need it. When you start speaking like a wealthy person, something amazing happens inside you. You begin to feel like a wealthy person. You begin to think like a wealthy person. You begin to see opportunities like a wealthy person. And when you consistently think, feel, and see like a wealthy person, you begin to attract the experiences of a wealthy person. This isn't about fake it till you make it. This is about understanding that your identity is created by your words, and you can choose to create a new identity anytime you want. Every time you speak prosperity over your life, you're building neural pathways in your brain that support a wealthy identity. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what you consistently tell it is happening. When you consistently speak like a person who attracts money easily, your brain starts believing that you are a person who attracts money easily. When your brain believes this, it starts looking for ways to make it true. The key is to start speaking your new money story before your current reality matches that story. This requires faith and consistency, but it works every single time when you stick with it. You have to be willing to sound different than your current bank account looks. This means when someone asks how you're doing financially, instead of launching into all your money problems, you speak from your new identity. Instead of saying, I'm struggling, you might say, I'm learning to manage money better every day. Instead of saying, I can't afford anything, you might say, I'm becoming more creative about how I use my resources. You're not lying when you speak this way. You're choosing to focus on where you're going instead of where you've been. You're choosing to reinforce the identity you want to have instead of the identity you're trying to leave behind. Creating a new money identity through words isn't something you do once and then forget about. It's something you do every day, in every conversation, in every thought you speak out loud. Every time you talk about money, you have a choice: reinforce your old identity or build your new one. Most people reinforce their old money identity hundreds of times per day without even realizing it. They wake up and immediately start speaking from lack. They look at bills and speak frustration. They see prices and speak limitation. They think about the future and speak worry. But you can choose differently. You can wake up and speak gratitude for what you have. You can look at bills and speak about your ability to pay them. You can see prices and speak about value and investment. You can think about the future and speak excitement about the prosperity that's coming. Take a moment to bring powerful words to life that will completely transform your relationship with money. These aren't just pretty phrases you say once and forget about. These are the specific words that will rewire your brain, reprogram your subconscious mind, and give the universe new instructions about what to create in your financial life. The words I'm about to share with you are the same words that took me from financial struggle to financial freedom. I didn't just read these words or think about them. I spoke them out loud every single day until they became part of who I am. These words literally changed my identity from someone who struggled with money to someone who attracts money naturally. Before I give you these exact words, I want you to understand something important. These words only work if you speak them with intention and feeling. You can't just mumble them while you're thinking about something else. You can't say them once and expect miracles. You have to speak them like you mean them, even if you don't fully believe them yet. First, create words about your identity, how you see yourself as a person who deserves and attracts wealth. It could be something like, I am worthy of wealth and prosperity in every area of my life. This simple statement begins to break down years of programming that told you that you don't deserve financial success. Another powerful identity statement is, I am a magnet for money because I carry the magic touch of someone who attracts gold. This might sound unusual at first, but remember that you're trying to create a new identity that's completely different from your old identity. If your old identity struggled with money, then your new identity needs to be someone who naturally attracts money. You might also say, I am becoming wealthy through providing value to the world. This connects your desire for money with your ability to serve others, which helps remove any guilt or negative feelings you might have about wanting to be rich. When you see wealth as a result of helping others, it becomes much easier to attract money into your life. Here's another powerful identity statement. I am grateful for my ability to create abundance in my life and the lives of others. This positions you as someone who doesn't just receive wealth, but someone who creates it and shares it. The universe loves to work through people who see themselves as channels of abundance rather than just collectors of money. Then create words about how you see money itself. For example, money flows to me easily and effortlessly from multiple sources. This statement tells the universe that you expect money to come to you without struggle and that you're open to receiving it in various ways. You might say, the universe conspires to make me rich in ways that surprise and delight me. This creates an expectation that wealth will come to you through unexpected channels and opportunities. It also makes the process of becoming wealthy feel exciting rather than stressful. Another powerful money statement is, Everything happens at the right time to bring me prosperity and abundance. This helps you trust the timing of your financial growth and stops you from getting frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as you'd like. Try saying, "Money loves me and I love money, and we have a beautiful, healthy relationship together." Many people have a conflicted relationship with money. They want it, but they also fear it or judge it. This statement helps you develop a positive, loving relationship with money that makes it easier to attract and keep. Here are some words that specifically open you to receiving money. I am open and ready to receive wealth from expected and unexpected sources. Sometimes money comes from sources we never anticipated: a gift, an inheritance, a business opportunity, a refund, or even finding money. This statement helps you stay open to all possibilities. You can say, "I gratefully receive all the abundance that flows to me each day." Notice that this statement assumes abundance is already flowing to you. You're just acknowledging and receiving it. This is much more powerful than asking for abundance to start flowing. Another receiving statement is, "I accept wealth and prosperity as my natural birthright." This helps overcome any feelings that you don't deserve to be wealthy or that wealth is only for other people. Everyone deserves to live abundantly, and this statement helps you claim that truth. Try, "Money comes to me in perfect amounts at perfect times for my highest good." This statement trusts that the universe knows exactly how much money you need and when you need it. It removes anxiety about timing and amounts, allowing you to relax into the flow of prosperity. As you say these words daily and really believe them, get ready to see amazing changes. The money you see, the way you think about wealth, will start to change right in front of your eyes. But here's the important part. You have to say these words every single day, not just when you remember or when you feel like it. I recommend choosing 5 to 7 of these statements that really resonate with you and making them part of your daily routine. Say them when you wake up in the morning. Say them while you're getting ready for your day. Say them while you're driving or walking. Say them before you go to sleep at night. The more you repeat these words, the more they become part of your subconscious programming. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with what you consistently tell it. It just accepts it as true and starts creating experiences that match what you're saying. Don't worry if these words feel strange or untrue at first. That's normal. You're creating a new reality with words that are different from your current reality. It's like learning a new language. At first it feels awkward and unnatural, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You can also create your own prosperity statements using these examples as templates. The key is to make them personal and meaningful to you. Use words that feel powerful when you say them. Use phrases that create excitement and anticipation in your body when you speak them. Some people like to write their prosperity statements down and read them aloud. Others prefer to memorize them and speak them throughout the day. Some people like to say them while looking in the mirror. Find the method that works best for you and stick with it. Remember, these words are not magic spells that work instantly. They are tools that help you create a new relationship with money over time. The more consistently you use these tools, the more powerful they become, and the faster you'll see changes in your financial life. What you need to understand is that the money you see in your life shows up with a delay, and this delay is where most people give up on the power of their words. Why does this delay exist? Here's why, and understanding this will save you from months or years of frustration. In your mind, you can create a rich life instantly just by closing your eyes and seeing what you want. You can imagine yourself with all the money you desire, living in your dream home, driving your perfect car, taking amazing vacations. In your imagination, all of this can happen in seconds. But in the real world, Things take time to show up because money has to move through the physical world. Think about it this way. When you order something online, you don't expect it to appear in your hands the moment you click buy. You understand that the item has to be processed, packaged, shipped, and delivered. There's a delay between your order and your delivery, but you don't cancel your order just because it doesn't arrive instantly. The same principle applies to the words you speak about money. When you speak prosperity into your life, you're placing an order with the universe. But just like an online order, there's a processing and delivery time. The universe has to arrange circumstances, align opportunities, and coordinate events to bring your spoken words into physical reality. You have to keep saying the same prosperity words long enough for your money to appear. What does this mean? It means you must stay faithful to the money identity and money words you have created until your goal shows up in your physical experience. This is where most people fail. They start speaking positively about money for a few days or a few weeks, and when they don't see immediate results, they go back to their old way of talking. They say things like, "See, this positive speaking stuff doesn't work," or "I tried that affirmation thing and nothing happened." But here's what they don't understand. Their old words about money didn't create their current financial situation overnight either. If you've been speaking limitation about money for years, it's going to take consistent positive speaking to overwrite that programming. You can't expect a few weeks of new words to instantly overcome decades of old programming. The universe needs to see that you're serious about your new money identity. It needs to know that this isn't just a temporary mood or a passing phase. When you consistently speak prosperity day after day, week after week, month after month, the universe starts to believe that this is really who you are now. Whatever wealth you want to have, start by speaking like someone who already has that level of wealth. Ask yourself how that person would talk about money, and keep speaking that way for long enough. This is one of the most challenging parts of this process because it requires you to speak beyond your current circumstances. If you want to be a millionaire, you need to start speaking like a millionaire before you have $1 million. If you want financial freedom, you need to start speaking like someone who is financially free before you experience that freedom. If you want abundance, you need to start speaking like an abundant person before abundance shows up in your life. This doesn't mean you should be irresponsible with money or pretend you have money you don't have. It means you should adopt the mindset and language of someone who has the financial life you want. Wealthy people don't constantly worry about money. They don't speak from fear and lack. They don't make decisions based on scarcity. Instead, wealthy people speak with confidence about their financial future. They talk about opportunities and investments. They discuss ways to grow and multiply money. They speak as if abundance is their natural state, because for them it is. During the delay period between speaking and seeing results, your words are actually doing invisible work in your life. Even though you can't see changes in your bank account yet, changes are happening in your mindset, your energy, your awareness, and your actions. When you consistently speak prosperity, you start noticing opportunities you never saw before. You start meeting people who can help you financially. You start having ideas about how to make or save money. You start feeling more confident and capable around money topics. You start taking different actions because you're thinking differently. All of these changes are preparing you to receive and handle the wealth you're speaking into existence. The universe isn't just trying to give you money, it's trying to turn you into the kind of person who can attract, receive, and keep money. This transformation takes time, and your consistent positive speaking is what drives this transformation. The delay isn't punishment or proof that this doesn't work. The delay is preparation. The universe is using this time to prepare you for the financial success you're claiming with your words. Be patient with the process while staying consistent with your practice. What you need to understand is that the universe does not hear your anger or sadness, but it hears the exact content of your words. This is a crucial distinction that most people miss, and understanding it will completely change how you speak about money. Most people think that if they're angry about being broke, the universe will understand that they don't want to be broke and will help them get money. But that's not how it works. The universe doesn't hear the anger, it hears being broke. It doesn't matter what emotion is behind your words. What matters is the actual content of what you're saying. Think about it this way. If you keep saying things like, I hate being broke, I hate my small paycheck, I hate these bills, what do you think the universe is hearing? The universe doesn't hear the hate. It hears being broke, small paycheck, and bills. So you get more bills, more reasons to feel broke, and more situations that justify a small paycheck. The universe is like a computer that processes the content of your words without analyzing the emotions behind them. If you program a computer with the word broke, it doesn't matter if you type that word while feeling angry, sad, or frustrated. The computer just processes broke and gives you results related to being broke. This is why complaining about your financial situation actually makes your financial situation worse. Every time you complain about money, you're giving the universe more instructions to create the very things you're complaining about. When you say, I never have enough money, the universe hears, never have enough money, and creates more experiences of not having enough. When you say, everything is so expensive, the universe hears everything is expensive and makes sure you encounter more expensive things. When you say, I can't catch a break financially, the universe hears can't catch a break financially and makes sure you don't catch any financial breaks. The universe doesn't understand that you're complaining because you want things to change. The universe only understands that you're focusing on these topics with your words, so it assumes you want more experiences related to these topics. This is why people who constantly complain about money often find themselves in a never-ending cycle of financial problems. They're literally ordering more financial problems every time they complain, but they don't realize they're doing it. Here's a perfect example of how this works. Let's say you have a friend who constantly talks about how terrible their boss is. They say things like, my boss is so unfair. I hate working for this person. My boss makes my life miserable. What do you think happens to this person? They don't get a better boss. They get more experiences that prove their boss is terrible. Their boss seems to become even more unfair, more difficult, and more frustrating. Why? Because they're constantly speaking the content of terrible boss into their reality. The same thing happens with money. If you constantly talk about how hard it is to make money, you'll get more experiences of money being hard to make. If you constantly talk about how expensive everything is, you'll encounter more expensive situations. If you constantly talk about financial struggle, you'll get more financial struggle. The universe takes the content of your words as a request. When you speak about financial difficulty, you're essentially saying, universe, please give me more financial difficulty so I have more to talk about. The universe is happy to fulfill this request because it thinks this is what you want. The key to using this in your life is simple. Focus your words on what you want and what you already have, not on what you don't want or what you're missing. This simple shift in focus will completely transform your financial reality. To make any money change happen, you need to start speaking about what you already have right now. Every dollar you have, all the progress you've made, the good things you want in your life. Instead of saying, I only have $50, say, I'm grateful for the $50 I have. Instead of saying, I never have enough, say, I'm learning to manage what I have better every day. When you focus your words on what you want, you give the universe instructions to create more of what you want. When you focus your words on what you already have, you give the universe permission to multiply what you have. When you focus your words on gratitude and appreciation, you give the universe the signal that you're ready to receive more. This doesn't mean you should ignore problems or pretend everything is perfect. It means you should speak about problems in a way that moves you towards solutions rather than creating more problems. Instead of saying, "I'm broke," you might say, "I'm looking for ways to increase my income." Instead of saying, "Bills are killing me," you might say, "I'm learning to manage my expenses better." Stop and think, what do I want? What would make my life a real journey of prosperity and abundance? How does that look? How does it feel? It can be a vague image as long as you're focused on what you want rather than what you don't want. When you consistently focus your words on what you want, something amazing happens in your brain. You start noticing opportunities and possibilities that were always there but that you couldn't see before. You start recognizing resources and connections that can help you achieve your financial goals. This happens because your brain has a feature called the reticular activating system, which filters information based on what you consistently focus on. When you consistently speak about financial struggle, your brain filters reality to show you more evidence of financial struggle. When you consistently speak about financial opportunity, your brain filters reality to show you more evidence of financial opportunity. The content of your words literally programs your brain to see different aspects of reality. This is why two people can live in the same city, work similar jobs, and have similar backgrounds, but one person sees opportunities everywhere, while the other person sees obstacles everywhere. The difference is in the content of their daily words about money and success. This will change your money forever, because if you learn to use this speaking cycle, you will literally see your bank account changing before your eyes. What I'm about to share with you is the complete system that governs how words create financial reality. Once you understand this cycle and learn to work with it instead of against it, you'll never struggle with money the same way again. Most people are trapped in a cycle that keeps them financially stuck, and they don't even realize they're in this cycle. They think their financial problems are caused by external circumstances, the economy, their job, their education, their background, or just bad luck. But the real cause of their financial problems is the speaking cycle they're unconsciously following every single day. Understanding this cycle was the turning point in my own financial life. Before I learned this, I was just like everyone else, working hard, trying different strategies, getting frustrated when things didn't work, and wondering why some people seemed to attract money easily while I struggled for every dollar. Once I understood and started using this cycle correctly, everything changed. The beautiful thing about this cycle is that it works the same way for everyone. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your education level is, how old you are, or what your current financial situation looks like. When you align your words with this cycle, the universe has no choice but to respond with increased abundance. Most people look at their empty bank account, then speak from that place of lack. Then the universe gives them more lack. They stay trapped in this cycle their entire lives because they don't understand that they're creating what they're experiencing through their words. Here's how the trap works. You wake up in the morning and check your bank account. You see that you don't have much money, so you start your day by speaking from that reality. You say things like, "I'm so broke. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. Money is so tight this month," or "I wish I had more money." These words create feelings of lack, worry, and frustration in your body. These feelings influence your actions throughout the day. You make decisions from a place of scarcity. You see problems instead of opportunities. You feel stressed about money, which affects your energy and your ability to think clearly about financial solutions. At the end of the day, your financial situation hasn't improved and might have even gotten worse because you made decisions from a mindset of lack. So the next morning, you wake up to the same or worse financial situation, and the cycle repeats itself. This is why some people seem to be stuck in financial struggle year after year, no matter what they try. They're trapped in a speaking cycle that recreates the same financial reality over and over again. They don't realize that their words are the prison that's keeping them stuck. But if you want to become a real creator of your wealth, you need to reverse this cycle. Instead of speaking from what you see, you speak first about what you want. This is the secret that wealthy people understand intuitively, even if they can't explain it. Wealthy people don't speak from their current circumstances. They speak from their vision of where they're going. They don't let their current bank account determine their words about money. They let their future vision determine their words, and then they use those words to create that future. This is a complete reversal of how most people approach money. Most people think they'll start speaking positively about money once they have more money. Wealthy people speak positively about money first, and then use those words to create more money. This reversal requires courage because you have to be willing to sound different than your current situation looks. You have to be willing to speak abundance when your bank account shows lack. You have to be willing to speak prosperity when your bills show problems. You have to be willing to speak wealth when your current reality shows struggle. We start with the words we want to say. We turn our back on our current bank account because we realize that what we have now only came from words we spoke in the past. If we want different financial results in the future, we have to speak different words starting today. This is the hardest part for most people because it goes against everything they've been taught about being realistic or honest about their situation. But here's what you need to understand. Your current financial situation isn't the truth about what's possible for you. Your current financial situation is just the result of the words you've been speaking up until now. If you want to create a new financial reality, you have to start speaking new words before that reality exists. You have to speak like a wealthy person before you become wealthy. You have to speak like someone who attracts money easily before money starts flowing easily to you. So we start with speaking prosperity. And when we choose these words and say, "This is what I want and this is what I have," the universe has no choice but to start making it real, little by little. At first, the changes might be small. Maybe you find $1 on the street. Maybe someone pays you back money they owed you. Maybe you get a small discount on something you were going to buy anyway. The key is what you do when these small changes start happening. Instead of observing and looking for problems, you confirm and look for progress. You take a look in the mirror of reality to see what's working. And when you see the reflection, you think, "Oh, that's working. Look, that happened." This is completely different from how most people respond to small positive changes. Most people dismiss small improvements as coincidence or luck. They say things like, "That was just a fluke," or "That probably won't happen again," or "It's not enough to make a real difference." But when you're working with the speaking cycle correctly, you celebrate every small improvement as evidence that your words are working. You use each positive change, no matter how small, as proof that you're on the right track. You speak about these improvements with excitement and gratitude. When you do this consistently, something magical happens. The universe sees that you appreciate and acknowledge the small changes it's sending you, so it starts sending you bigger changes. Your positive response to small improvements signals to the universe that you're ready for larger improvements. If you want more confidence over time, you'll notice that people will start to welcome you better. If you wanted to improve some aspect of your work or business, you'll notice that things are getting better. Your whole world may be falling apart, but you only focus on the things you want to confirm, the things that correspond to that worldview and identity you've chosen to create. This is the key to exponential growth in your financial life. Instead of focusing on everything that's wrong or missing, you focus only on what's improving and what's working. You train your attention to look for evidence that your prosperity words are creating results. This doesn't mean you ignore real problems or responsibilities. It means you handle necessary business while keeping your focus and your words aligned with what you're creating rather than what you're trying to escape from. The idea is that you always keep doing this, and the more you keep doing it, it will turn into something beyond anything you've ever imagined. The universe responds to consistency and focus. When you consistently speak prosperity and consistently confirm small improvements, the universe increases the frequency and size of the improvements it sends you. Many people who start using this cycle report that after a few months of consistent practice, money starts flowing to them in ways they never expected. Opportunities appear, ideas come to them, people offer them money-making possibilities, and their financial situation begins to transform in ways that feel almost magical. As we dive into the depths of speaking with the universe, we discover a power we often forget about that has been within us all along. What we see around us in our financial lives comes directly from the words we speak about ourselves and money every single day. This isn't just a nice theory or a spiritual concept. This is how reality actually works. Every word you speak about money is like a seed you plant in the garden of your financial future. Some words plant seeds of abundance and prosperity. Other words plant seeds of lack and struggle. The universe doesn't judge which seeds you're planting. It just waters whatever you plant and helps it grow into your lived experience. Most people spend their entire lives planting seeds of financial limitation without realizing what they're doing. They speak lack, they get lack. They speak struggle, they get struggle. They speak limitation, they get limitation, then they wonder why their financial situation never improves, not realizing that they're creating their experience with their own words. But now you understand the truth. You understand that your words have creative power. You understand that the universe is always listening to what you say and using your words as instructions for what to create in your life. You understand that you can literally speak a new financial reality into existence. The secret is, instead of just looking at our bank account and speaking from that reality, we must speak our destiny into life with the words of who we want to be and what we want to have. This is the fundamental shift that separates people who struggle with money from people who create wealth. Poor people speak from their current circumstances. Rich people speak from their future vision. Poor people let their bank account determine their words. Rich people let their words determine their bank account. Poor people describe what is. Rich people create what will be. This shift requires you to develop a new relationship with your words. You can no longer afford to speak carelessly about money. Every conversation about finances becomes an opportunity to either reinforce your old financial reality or create your new one. Every complaint about money becomes a choice between staying stuck or moving forward. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that you've been unconsciously creating your financial experience your entire life through your words. This might feel overwhelming at first, but it's actually incredibly empowering. If you created your current situation through your words, that means you can create a completely different situation through different words. Just like someone who turns regular metal into gold, we can change our lives by speaking abundance, focusing on what we have and what we want, and consistently training our minds to see opportunity instead of limitation. This is the true alchemy, transforming your financial reality through the power of your spoken word. The ancient alchemists understood something that modern people have forgotten. They knew that transformation happens from the inside out, not from the outside in. They knew that you have to change your inner world before your outer world will change. They knew that words have the power to transform reality. You are an alchemist. Your words are your tools. Your financial life is your laboratory. Every day, you have the opportunity to use your words to transform the base metal of your current circumstances into the gold of financial abundance. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, just like the alchemist's work took time and patience. But when you consistently apply these principles, when you speak prosperity every day, when you focus on what you want instead of what you lack, when you confirm small improvements instead of observing problems, your financial life will transform in ways that will amaze you. This is real. This is something I used and it really worked, so I'm sharing it with you. When I started speaking prosperity into my life consistently, when I changed my money identity through my words, when I learned to work with the universe instead of against it, my financial reality transformed completely. I went from struggling to pay bills to having money flow to me from multiple sources. I went from worrying about money constantly to feeling peaceful and confident about my financial future. I went from making financial decisions from fear to making them from wisdom and abundance. When I saw the results, it was incredible. Money I wanted started to come to me, even more than I had imagined. Opportunities appeared that I never could have planned or predicted. People offered me ways to make money that I never would have thought of myself. My entire relationship with money shifted from struggle and stress to ease and flow. But the most amazing thing wasn't just the money itself. It was becoming the kind of person who attracts money naturally. The words I spoke changed who I was on the inside. And when I changed on the inside, my outside world changed automatically. If this video helped you understand the power of your words to create financial abundance, please like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message and start their own journey of financial transformation through the power of speech. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts and experiences. Tell us about the words you're going to start speaking into your financial life. Share your commitment to changing your money identity through your daily words. Let us know what financial reality you're going to speak into existence. Remember, every word you speak about money from this moment forward is either creating more abundance or more limitation in your life. Choose your words wisely. Speak your prosperity boldly. Trust the process completely. The universe is waiting to hear your new instructions. Your words are ready to create your new financial reality. Your prosperity journey begins with your very next statement about money. Thanks for watching and for joining me on this incredible journey of financial transformation. Take care, speak prosperity, and I'll see you soon in your new abundant reality.